What's up, guys? Altair here, and we're here for a new episode of Fiverr Watch. We had some brand new news on Star Wars and LucasArts, so I'm here with a couple of my friends, G and Mayor. So say hi to them.
Oh, hello! What's up?
All right, so
What's up?
G and Mayor are going to be joining me as we watch the new LucasArts sizzle trailer that they just
All
released
right,
today.
Lucasfilm Games, not LucasArts.
Oh yeah,
Used to
thank
be.
you, thank you. So Lucasfilm Games, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna watch the Lucasfilm games all together at the same time, except for G, because he's watched it already.
No, not really. I've only seen clips, so let's do this.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes! So go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this
I,
one.
I never played that, actually.
Yes!
You guys did.
That's my
I was a
boy!
big fan of that.
I didn't even
Oh
know this
wow.
existed. Of course, Battlefront 2.
Which will be free in Epic Games
Yeah, I know.
soon, by the way.
There,
Yes.
there's a lot of Star Wars games apparently.
60.
I hope they come out with a sequel for that one.
Squadron.
Oh, they will. They will. They will.
We've done it. The tunnels are open. Get in
I
and
suck
attack
at
the
that
station.
game so bad.
It's very twitchy. Oh, was that Jedi Academy?
Oh, I love that shot. Ooh.
Bravo, bravo. Alright! Alright,
So
we're
I guess
gonna...
they're back.
LucasArts
Are we
is
gonna like
back.
break it down and all that? That's
Yeah, we can, definitely. Okay, but first things first, LucasArts is back. LucasArts Games, is that right? LucasArts Games?
Lucasfilm Games.
Lucasfilm
Lucasfilm
Games.
Games.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so just a quick history lesson. Apparently, just as you was discussing earlier, Lucasfilm Games was dissolved a couple years back, right?
No, back in the old days of like PC gaming, like 80s and stuff, there was a company called LucasArts who makes video games based
Point and
on
click games.
based on not original properties too, like Curse of the Monkey Island, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
That kind of it, I think. And then, also stuff like, Indiana Jones and obviously Star Wars. But then when Disney bought Lucasfilm and EA got the gaming rights for all the Star Wars games, which I guess also translates to Lucasfilm Games,
Yeah.
LucasArts basically just got kaput. It dissolved. And, you know, so since then, EA has been sort of like making the Star Wars games, and
If I'm
where
not
we at?
mistaken, that was 2012 when they did the announcement that EA
The
is gonna have a
2012 was
10-year.
2012 because 2012 was when Disney got Lucas. So yes, it was
So
around
doesn't that
2012.
mean that since it's 2021, they were supposed to have one more year of exclusivity, but that got cut
Right.
short.
It seems like the deal is like, yeah, like you said, maybe shortened right now, but EA will still be making Star Wars games from what I've
Yeah.
heard, right?
So what do you guys feel about that? I mean, just the trailer, just the trailer.
It's a good
Well,
reminder that there are Star Wars games that are really good.
We exist. We're
yeah,
here.
like, I'll be a little bit honest. Like, from what we watched, like that span, that sizzle reel, okay,
Mm.
I only cared for around one or two games in that sizzle reel. Yeah, it just means that
Three, maybe three,
the
three.
the Star Wars
Three at
franchise
best, yeah.
wasn't as it wasn't maximized in that 10-year deal,
Nope,
I would say.
nope.
Because I think EA got like a hell of a lot of problems because they thought we could buy the Star Wars franchise. At the same time, they were thinking maybe we could buy other big developers as well, right? Like BioWare
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah, and then when all of it is in their plate, they couldn't. I don't know what happened in
That's
the
a
middle of it. They just couldn't put focus in the franchise as much. So we was hoping like Battlefront 2 was okay, but it had a rough start,
well. Okay.
like all of EA games.
Well, here's the
It
thing.
did.
Do you guys remember the time when EA first released that trailer showing off like the studios in Montreal and everything, and then they were talking about
Yeah,
Battlefront, they were talking about what we didn't know was Jedi Fallen Order and all of their other plans, their vision basically for Star Wars. And I remember seeing that video, and it was like I was pumped, though I had my reservations because
but
EA.
though a
But
lot of those projects got canceled.
exactly, I know.
I
I
was
think
gonna
Like
say, yeah.
1313 got canceled. Was it an
mhm.
EA project? I think it was
13,
an EA project.
1313 was originally, I think, a LucasArts
Yeah,
project.
that's what got
Then and
canceled
then
Ah,
because
that was
they
the
took over.
LucasArts one.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what
like
got
their last main major game that they were supposed to make, and then suddenly, with the whole dissolved thing,
Ah,
takeover.
true,
it
true,
just got
true.
canceled. But then
But I think
it was then sort of remodeled as a something else later on. The game
yeah,
that
it
was
it 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 was promoted something like being an Uncharted game,
Uncharted,
but
yeah,
in the
because
Supposedly,
Star
the
Wars
director
universe.
of the Uncharted games, Amy Hennig, I believe, she was supposed to direct a big budget Star Wars game, which got canceled eventually after like a few years because
mhm. And that
so
was
many
Yeah,
issues and like developer drama and all that stuff happened. I mean, I don't want to go to full details because it's like a super long story, but
but
essentially, yeah, we were supposed to get this really amazing Star Wars game from the Uncharted director,
Uncharted,
but
yeah.
it never happened. And I guess the closest thing you could say to that ish would be the Fallen Order uh,
Yeah.
game.
which was the
We
only
got,
I think
yeah,
project that got pushed through
right,
out
That
of the
which
things
was
that they announced.
that
which
and
was made by
Battlefront
Respawn
and
Entertainment,
Squadrons.
by the way.
Battlefront 2
And
Yeah,
Squadrons
Squadrons.
and Fallen Order
yeah.
were basically what we got from that
Actually, the funny thing is, all the
infernal
stuff like
compact.
yeah,
But
the within since EA got Star Wars, the only amount of Star Wars games they made actually you could just count it in your one hand. It's like what, four or five, even like not even five, right? Because like Fallen Order, Battlefront 1 and 2, and Squadrons.
there's
Because
that small
Knights
caveat
of the Old
though.
Republic is not really, or sorry, the Old Republic is not really. It was made before the whole EA thing,
It it was made by
right?
BioWare,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it was
right.
there before the EA schism.
Yeah,
Basically, sorry,
right,
the LucasArts schism. It was there. So basically,
right,
EA just adopted it. That's why
right.
I still fight that that was still sort of a good thing that came out of it. Though I have to say that I
Mm.
mean, Star Wars, The Old Republic wasn't the best game,
But it was decent. It was
but
decent from
it was decent. I played through most of
from
Yeah.
the
what I've
story
been
of that,
hearing.
and it's decent, definitely. For me, that's
Yeah,
the nearest thing that we currently have
right,
to a Star Wars sandbox. Now you can just
right.
make
But
any character you want. You can explore the galaxy. That's the nearest thing that you have. But come on, I mean it's like a 10, 15 year old game.
right,
So
it's
and we
still not.
haven't got anything
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
at
Like
least like
the
abysmally
good
close to
Star
that.
Wars games are now a few and far between.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, just cause I think it's just how EA handled the franchise all throughout that 10-year license deal,
mm,
the exclusivity deal. Yeah, but it's good now that it ended. I guess it ended, or that exclusivity deal ended.
yeah,
'Cause we have two new companies going for Star Wars games next this
yeah,
year, probably then other years to come. Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you think it's a good thing that Star Wars games are now outside the grasp
Okay.
No,
of
I
the
believe
EA
so. So
machine?
that means independent studios can now possibly make their own Star Wars game.
Yes.
Like um, we could see a lot of genres like being adapted and stuff like
Yep.
that. Like imagine
Dude,
like a
we might get a sequel. We might get a sequel to Masters of Terrascasi.
the fighting the fighting game. Yeah. No, I was gonna
Man.
say like
Yeah,
no, like Mayor said earlier, like a point and click adventure. It would be cool to have another point and click
dude,
classic
yes.
PC adventure
Dude,
based on
if
something.
Telltale gets a franchise
Yeah,
or has a
something like
knack
that.
for that franchise,
Yeah.
bro,
Oh,
Actually,
Or
that was one of the things
yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys. I mean, now that the floodgates are open and maybe the next 10, 15 years we're gonna be getting Star Wars games all shapes and sizes. What would be
Mhm.
the one Star Wars game that you would? I mean, if you could make a wish to have a Star Wars game, what would that be?
Mm.
I CD Project Red. I'm just kidding. Siguro I'll rephrase that question. Now that Star Wars is out in the open, which developer do you want to get? Do you want to
Hmm.
develop a Star Wars game for?
Interesting. I was thinking. Uh. Hmm.
I got one, but go ahead.
Okay, for me, I've always been a big fan of Republic Commando. And to those younguns over there, out there, Republic Commando is basically a first-person shooter that you had control of Delta Squad. They were stormtroopers, or basically they were shock troopers, and so they're like hyper stormtroopers. So I was imagining that maybe um, I don't know. Who's a good first-person shooter developer? Like I don't know, Bungie or something like
Wow,
No,
Bungie
too much.
on
I don't
G
think so.
would.
instead of Master Chief, you have like Master Stormtrooper.
I would be totally
The
stoked if we had like Imperial Commando. That would be cool. Or since Disney's coming up with the Bad Batch, that'd be perfect if they came up with something like Republic Commando, where it's like a squad-based first-person shooter, and then like you have specialists. Like you can order your sniper to snipe this guy, and you can order your tech guy to open the lock while you're shooting. That would be my dream game.
How about you, G? Which
uh
developer do you want to handle Star
okay.
Wars in the future?
Seriously, hear me out. Tecmo Koei, developers of Dynasty Warriors,
Hmm.
will
In
create
Dead or
a
Alive.
Star Wars Dynasty Warriors game, guys.
With boob
I don't know
physics.
if you guys played. Huh? I don't know if you guys played like the recent Dynasty Warrior style games, like
No. Well,
Zelda, Age of Calamity, and the upcoming Persona's 5 Scramblers. Basically, like imagine you're playing a bunch of Jedi slicing a bunch of dudes in like a big environment. That's basically it. You're just slashing mindless things, and then you also have like each character have their own special moves, and it'll be based on like the 3 timelines. So it's like all bunch of
mm,
Jedi, and also not just limited to Jedi. You could also get your Han Solo guy and I'm sorry, your bounty hunters, your smuggler kind of guys.
mhm.
Like all these Star Wars characters just fighting mindless drones. I think it's gonna be like a fun sort of like
So something akin to
30-minute kind of game. You just want to like sit around
like
and
a Shadows of
mess
Mordor,
around.
but you're a Jedi.
Well, that's more like an open world. I'm just talking like an arcade kind of style of just
Like a
you.
beat 'em. Yeah, okay. Dynasty
Yeah,
Mm,
Warriors. So
yeah,
Dynasty
exactly.
Warriors,
Like,
Galaxy
Dynasty
Warriors,
Warriors.
like
basically.
a fun like
Galaxy
I know.
Warriors.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I think it could work.
I would play that.
It's
I'd play that.
Yeah.
What about Mayor? What is your dream Star Wars game?
Now that I think about it, I have a couple of developers in mind.
Hmm.
First of all, I'm not dissing Teres kasi. I want an Arc System Works fighting game with Star Wars characters.
that
Like
would be so
a
rad.
like a side by side, like a Street Fighter, Mortal
It's
Kombat.
from the maker of Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear, Dragon
It
Ball
has to
Fighters,
be it has
Blaze
to be
Blue.
like
Yeah,
cell shaded,
2D.
crazy animation,
yeah.
crazy style.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, that would be fun. Like, and you can put like non-Jedi characters there, and that'll still fly. You can actually put like I don't know a Wookiee there or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that Wookiee would be a large Wookiee
Mm.
with specific moves,
I
right?
mean, someone
That's
Ewok.
one. Okay. Yeah. Another
I
one
would,
is
I would say that.
I still really would like a Naughty Dog style Star Wars game. Because if Mandalorian has taught
Mm.
us
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
is that a Star Wars story can have gravitas. Okay, so
Which I
imagine that siguro. So just imagine like just pick a lone Star Wars story and then play it out in like a 20-hour, 30-hour game. Okay, that's full of choices, right? And moral dilemmas of sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, it doesn't have to be a Jedi. These games don't need to be Jedi centric.
It can be
Okay,
like a
because
bounty
they
hunter
already did. Yeah, you can be a bounty hunter like
or a
Mando.
smuggler. Yeah.
But about the moral dilemma of will you hunt this bounty or will you release him at the end?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
when you
yeah.
release him, he might help you get a bigger bounty
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, something like that. So yun, that's my second one. The third one is they never actually did really a really like modernized version of KOTOR.
Mm.
So, okay. So maybe I'd want a modernized version of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be open world. It doesn't have to be open world. KOTOR wasn't open world. Uh but it has to be an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So probably I'm gonna I'm gonna put out a limb here, and Mako's gonna like this stuff. Maybe Obsidian.
Mm.
Oh, top down,
Maybe Obsidian.
isometric, like an isometric game, just
Doesn't
like
have to be.
Obsidian.
Doesn't have to be.
Oh.
But Obsidian storytelling when it comes to RPGs.
Oh yeah, wasn't Obsidian the one that made Outer Worlds? Was that them or
Yes,
Outer?
yes, yes. It's them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Outer
They can
Yeah.
do something similar
You
to
can
that.
make a third person RPG
Mm.
centric. Yeah, and it's about choice also.
Is that like a
So
solo game or with a crew?
solo game, like ako ito for Star Wars games, unless it's a first person shooter. Okay. I'd rather have it a single player experience.
Hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
cuz
Yeah.
yeah, cuz whether you're playing like a bounty hunter, it's weird to have like four bounty hunters at once,
Hmm.
right? Unless nga, unless like I'm knocking on the door that this new of Ubisoft game, okay, because it's from the developer of Division,
Yeah.
okay, it's probably gonna be stormtroopers.
You think so?
Hmm.
You are a squad of clone troopers or stormtroopers.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't think
Or maybe they're
so.
gonna
Feel you.
bring it out of the box and give us something else
Mm.
entirely. But coming from their pedigree, you know, unless you're a clone trooper or stormtrooper, that's the only situation where multiplayer makes sense for me.
Okay. Actually, since you're talking
Yeah.
about that,
Well,
um, there's this article that well, it's basically the Wired article, and it talks about that new game that Ubisoft is working with LucasArts with. Uh, yeah. Okay. So
Lucasfilm Games.
from Wired, a single story driven game can take up dozens of hours. An open world game like the kind that Ubisoft is making with Lucasfilm Games can potentially push into the hundreds of hours depending on how long a player wants to explore. So basically, with this,
Hmm.
we are told or we
I'm
can scope out that
I'm thinking I'm thinking AC rather than division if
it sounds
if
very
that's the
easy.
goal. Yeah, it sounds very AC.
You want to hear my
But
take on this? But
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say like I think this new Ubisoft Star Wars game is gonna be based on the High Republic series that they're currently hyping right now.
Yeah.
Because in that new timeline, it's like years, like hundreds of years before the Phantom Menace. It's a timeline basically where the Jedi are like knights, like totally like badass knights, lurking around the galaxy. And I could feel that this could be one of those open world games that you're playing a Jedi Knight just traveling around the galaxy, kind of like Mass Effect style
Hmm.
and open world. I don't know. That's
Mm.
like that's I think. I mean, if this is gonna be like a big deal, I think this could be one of those like High Republic stuff they're trying to hype. So that's how I feel this game might turn out.
Well, whatever
Thing
it
they're
is,
gonna do with it,
um,
maybe.
the thing that I can pick up from this is, well, I'm an Ubisoft fanboy. I love Ubisoft, but
Mm.
their games have been a little redundant. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows. I mean, everyone's
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about that. That basically ever since Assassin's Creed Odyssey, no, Origins,
Mm-hmm.
basically every game was basically a reskin of Origins, putting a Viking skin, putting a Greek skin, putting
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Recon skin. What I'm worried about is uh, I I hope it doesn't fall under the same pattern because basically it's gonna be a map with lots of markers and you just
Yeah.
go to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean I love Ubisoft, but I think it's time for an evolution in that genre. I think there can be more done to open world games. Uh, because basically the past I don't know 5 years we've been getting a lot of carbon copies with upgrades when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to Ubisoft games. So that's what I'm just
Yeah.
worried about it.
When it comes to Ubisoft,
I agree.
they're known to be like don't fix what ain't broke.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So ever since people had good positive reactions to Origins, okay, they were like, also maybe they like something more of these, so they're just
Yeah.
gonna keep on doing it, right? Same thing with Division 1 and 2.
Yep.
Pretty much play the same way. Pretty much play the same way. There's tangential like things that they started, new things that they started, but at the end of the day, the overall experience didn't stray from the formula that they set, right? If this is an opportunity for them to like break the mold, this would be it because it's a really big franchise and people are gonna watch this development like intently,
Yep.
right? Because
Hmm.
a lot of people, I think, were kind of meh with how EA handled the franchise.
Hmm.
Meh is an
So,
understatement. Meh is
so,
very polite of
so
you.
I was being nice. I was being nice.
It's
Okay,
crazy. Like 10
so
years, we just got like 4 Star Wars games, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
That's
That's
an
blame Anthem,
understatement.
I guess. I'm just kidding.
right.
So basically, when this news broke out, people are like, "Oh, so Ubisoft's gonna make a Star Wars game." So they're like, "Oh, it's something new. A new company is holding the reins at this point." Okay, aside from Bethesda, because that is also a Lucasfilm game. Uh, but now you see with this announcement comes like after the all of the hype. Na, oh my God, Ubisoft is doing a Star Wars game. Now comes like, oh, it's Ubisoft. So what
Yeah.
can go wrong?
So, what I wanted to talk about now is, what are your thoughts on this new alliance between, well, actually not alliance, but basically, since LucasArts is now,
Partnership.
since LucasArts is basically now an open relationship. I mean, it's still with EA for another year, but then it's like,
Yeah,
oh, now I wanna, try things out with other companies.
polyamorous,
Yeah,
man.
so basically, it's LucasArts saying I'm gonna be polyamorous because they're gonna still be creating Jedi Fallen Order 2, right? That's still under the works.
And I was gonna say, they're still gonna make that because EA made a lot of money, and also Respawn, by the way. Let's not
And they
forget
should.
Respawn
They should. I
Entertainment,
mean,
who made the game, because they don't get a lot of attention
Yeah.
these days, except for Apex Legends. But Titanfall 2, amazing. Anyway, so Fallen Order really sold a shit ton of money,
Mhm.
and we will get a sequel eventually at some point. I think that's gonna be the last EA Star Wars game if,
if
if things are
if there's anything I
Yeah.
can say about
playing
Fallen
out.
Order, the one thing that it it that sucked about it was too short for me. It wasn't able to explore as I mean it did a
Yeah.
really short thing really well, which is good,
My,
which is I
my,
think what they should be
yeah.
focusing on now, quality.
My problem with Fallen Order was the move set. I don't think there were a lot of moves considering that you are a Jedi. I
Hmm.
think the moves are just so limited, which is I think it's also okay because I think they were focusing on the combat being this Dark Souls ish
Hybrid.
main, yeah, whatnot.
It was pretty much a Souls-like.
It
Right.
was a
It was
Souls
pretty
But
like.
much
I
a Souls-like.
but for me, I don't know. I was expecting more badass Jedi moves. I guess that's maybe just a personal nitpick
Did
so
you
far.
like
Yeah.
But yeah.
did you enjoy Force Unleashed more than
No,
than
I think uh well I kind of enjoyed Force Unleashed 1. I never played 2, but apples and oranges I feel because Force Unleashed was really more of a character based Devil May Cry combo heavy kind of game, which really didn't work in my opinion. It was a little bit flimsy. It was not as precise as your Japanese developed game because actually forgot who developed that game. But I think with Fallen Order, it felt more like I said they were going for that Dark Souls kind of
yeah.
thing, and I think I really believed it worked. And like I said, I wish there were just more Jedi badass moves because I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get
The,
that.
I I don't know, man. I just God of War had so many moveset for like Kratos, and I think you could really be more creative if you're doing that kind of
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
when I was looking at
action game.
the skill tree basically of Fallen Order,
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, this is it." Like
yeah. It's just
there
is it
wasn't
like I don't know.
there wasn't any
Yeah,
builds. There wasn't any build diversity. It's just like, of course you're
Ah,
gonna get.
for me, I'm
yeah.
gonna be a little bit contrarian, and for me, it was aight. It was aight. I
It was
mean,
okay. It was, yeah. It's not. I don't think
uh,
this should be more.
I didn't expect it to be like RPG level of build
Mhm.
diversity. I didn't even think that there were builds to begin with,
Yeah.
right? Because it wasn't designed that way to begin with.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. I seldom play Souls like games. Okay, but I enjoy that one. I enjoy that, no matter how punishing it is on higher difficulties, right? Which
Yeah.
I played at Jedi Grandmaster level,
Me
right?
too, Jedi
So
Grandmaster.
yeah, that's the only way to play Souls like is
Yep.
to like have the difficulty cranked up.
There are only two difficulties. It's
But
either hard mode or pussy
yeah,
mode.
I think it's a trade-off. Like yes, you have limited move sets, but you need all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not like a build wherein you have like 50
Mm.
moves and you
Oh,
only
no,
at
no.
the end of the day you'll use your bread and butter five or something like that, right? In your hot bar, you only have five of the things that you and then you read up on builds. Eventually, you'll end up on the five that's most effective anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess they trimmed it down a bit, so it kind of need all of it, right? But I think like the reason why I think it was a success is because previously Respawn didn't have any famous IPs, right? It was Titanfall, right?
That's it.
And then
Apex Legends.
and
Yeah.
Apex,
It's essentially
and
one
Apex,
universe
right?
anyway.
Which both games did
Yeah.
really well,
Yeah.
right? Did really well. Yeah, but this is the first time they got an established one on their lap, right? So as a developer, you'd be worried about like fiddling with it too much,
Mhm.
right? And I think this was one of the few games after Apex, because they did Apex, that EA was like, "We trust you guys. You can do whatever you want. Okay,
And
we're not
that's
gonna nitpick.
and that was the
Yeah, we're
first
not
one
gonna nitpick."
that made money.
That was the
So,
first one that sold.
yep.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So, and you can totally compare like how they treated Fallen Order and how
Yeah.
they treated BioWare's projects, right? You can totally see that it's different between the two,
Yep.
between Respawn and BioWare, right?
BioWare.
So look we're not going into
Yeah,
that
yeah,
whole
yeah.
BioWare mess.
Mhm.
Okay, we're not gonna go there. Okay, but with your previous question with that, is it a good thing that they opened themselves up?
Mhm.
Yes, I think because we can't have Fallen Order 5 or Fallen Order 6. Okay, so there has to be
Wow.
like diversity, right? Because this is the worst case scenario that I think of. If Lucas Arts or Lucasfilms didn't open themselves up, we might see like a Call of Duty Star Wars treatment,
Yeah.
where there's a new Star Wars game of the same thing
Yeah.
every year,
So
right?
it's
And
like
that's something that you don't want.
so it's good that basically they quit while they were ahead.
Yeah. When they saw that Fallen Order was good, was doing well, and nagsakto the timing of the contract being ended, okay? So they decided to renew. I feel that they decided to renew just so they can have the sequel to Fallen Order from EA. But at the same time, they said, "Hey,
I'm gonna I'm
maybe
gonna date
we
new people
can
now.
we can yeah, maybe we can ask other developers to make our games also, right? The thing is, it's not the big developers that excite me. Okay, it's the genres that they can put Star Wars in that excites me, right? Because when you remember, I'm gonna go back to nostalgia during the PS1 era, right? There were a
Mm.
lot of Star Wars genres, right? I don't know if you guys remember all of them. So there was a fighting game,
Yeah,
right?
Terraskazi,
There was a racing game.
the
Yes.
a
There
pod
was a
racing game.
racing game,
Mm.
pod racing game. Okay. There was a side-scrolling game. Okay, side-scroller, a platformer. Okay. And there's of course an RPG and a 3D action,
Yeah,
like Jedi Academy,
and the
right?
shooter and
And the shooter.
RTS. There was
Yeah,
like
even
Mm.
There
RTS.
was an Age of Empires
Yeah.
Star Wars. Empires at
Yeah,
War, I
there was an
think.
even. Yeah,
But to
there you
be
go. So
fair, not a lot of those are good.
Okay, well,
no, but
Yeah.
then but
Yeah.
then the diversity is there, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
since they're
Maybe not.
rebooting the
Yeah.
universe, like what G said, they're rebooting the universe. So I think hand in hand, they're also rebooting all of the franchises that can have viability in the video game industry.
well, let
Yeah.
me throw a curveball here. Just this is just the only thing that kind of scares me with this opening up. I mean, because I love the fact that new developers will have the franchise because EA wasn't like the right one for me. I think a lot of other developers should have had the chance. But the thing is, now that it's not as controlled anymore, we have the possibility of having another pod racing game or having another Terraskazi where it's not necessarily canon. So I don't know. I mean that's the little thing that scares me. We might be crossing territory of like too many tie-ins, too many things happening, and you don't know what's canon anymore. Because of course Disney doesn't. I don't know if Disney
I
is still gonna have their
I
airtight
think I
IP
think
control on this.
with that with regards to that one, I think they learned because they've been burning
Mhm.
they've been retconning a
A
lot of
lot.
things in their universe, right? A lot. Okay, so I think with that retcon and now they're happy with what they have, okay, with the universe that they have, both pre, during, and post Skywalker saga. Okay, so I think they're at a happy place, although not a lot of people were happy with the sequel trilogy. Yeah, but Mando will probably fix that thing. Okay, so that gives them kasi the right to be more upfront on the kinds of stories that these games can push forward. Something like a Lord of the Rings game wherein you're like you can't blatantly add characters just
they're
so.
so they're basically gonna play around those small parts of the story, like, oh, what happened to Jar Jar Binks, or what happened to Qui-Gon while before like when he
Yeah,
was young.
yeah, yeah.
Basically, they're gonna skirt around what is existing.
I think moving forward, that's how Star Wars games will be. And I think that's the place where it's most satisfying for gamers
Because
is the
you
in
see your familiar
betweens. The in
characters.
between.
Yeah, which is basically Clone Wars
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
So
Those are all in betweens.
so yeah. So nothing major will happen in the games. Nothing major in terms of the major plot of the arc of Star
Mm,
Wars. But you'll see what happens to characters that you love
mm.
watching.
Like what happened
Right?
to young
I can
Kylo Ren,
imagine
or who were
yeah,
the Knights of Ren.
I
There could be a whole video game on the
I
Knights of
imagine
Kylo Ren.
I imagine Ahsoka to have a video game,
I'm sure. I would definitely
right?
play the fuck out of
Ahsoka
that.
will yeah. Ah- Ahsoka will
Yeah.
probably have a video
Oh,
game.
by the way, spoiler territory.
Mando will
We're
probably have
we're crossing spoiler territory, my friends. So bye bye. For anyone who
yeah.
Actually,
hasn't
we
watched
are
Mandalorian or
season
uh
2.
yeah, Mandalorian season 2. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, for characters that you like. I think Mando will have
Mhm.
Baba will have
Ah,
like all these character that feels this like this this landscape, not the major players,
mhm.
right? Because it's hard to make stories with the major players because that's gonna be a hit and miss, right? But what's always gonna be a hit is not so famous characters given a pretty badass story to pull off.
Bo-Katan. I would kill for a
Yeah,
good Bo-Katan. And
or
a
or
Darth Maul
or
game. There has to be a Darth Maul game. I am
or
putting it out
like
there.
for what it's basically the Rogue One treatment, right?
Yeah.
You have like really not known Star Wars characters, but the story just really was well off, like paid off in big time,
Yeah, basically
right?
unknowns, but it
It's just
happens
about good
around the same
storytelling.
timeline. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and then you get to realize that oh they were
Important.
although they were not known,
They
they
were.
were important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think moving forward with all of these new games, they should do that. They could make this like the in-between storylines to more important stuff that's happening in the movies,
And also
right?
shine light on all of the B characters, like all of the Jedi Council. I think. I mean, since you're currently watching Clone Wars, now you know. Oh, so that's
Yeah.
Kit Fisto, and that's Deepa Bilaba, and
I want
all
a
of.
Fisto game.
I would play a Fisto game. I would play a Ventress game, stuff like that. I mean those characters that weren't given enough spotlight in the movies, or and a little exposition during the cartoons. This is their gold mine now that the studios are open.
Yeah. Like a lot of
Uh,
developers can play around that, those stories, right?
Mhm.
Yun, you
so
can
yeah,
have a dating sim. I don't know.
more Star Wars game, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Pretty much what I'm hearing so
Yeah.
far.
yeah. So I
It's
guess
gonna be a lot.
I guess all in all, what we can get from this is the future is bright, and LucasArts being open to more partnerships and relationships means more Star Wars games for the fans, which it could be good, it could be bad, but what it means is more games about Star Wars, whether you
Yeah.
like it or
So
not.
yeah, so yeah. So down the line, we will have pod racing. We will have
Yeah,
Terraskasi. We're gonna have those kinds of
we're
games,
gonna get
but
him back.
at the end of the day,
We're gonna have the
it's
good ones too.
more games.
Yeah, and
Yeah, we're gonna have
the diamonds in the rough.
more games.
And I
Yeah,
guess all in all,
and
that's a
I'm
good
still
thing.
hoping for an MMO.
There's actually a rumor I heard a long time ago. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but supposedly BioWare or some major remaster company is gonna like remaster
KOTOR.
the first KOTOR.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Oh
I
wow,
don't
Blue
know.
Point. I'm just
I,
kidding. It's not gonna be
no,
Blue Point.
Blue Point is really tied up with Sony. Blue Point, to those who don't know, they made the Shadow of the Colossus remake and the
Hmm.
Demon Souls remake for
They're
PlayStation.
the
Yeah,
company for remake now.
right, right.
Hmm.
That's actually what we're
I
referring
know.
to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Remastering pala.
I hope there's gonna be a KOTOR remake because I really want to replay that game with modern visuals. Um,
And I think
yeah,
what a good remake would do is, for the next generation to experience it without having to put up with what would they would say is blocky graphics and bad textures. I mean, I think it's a classic that, you know, my children and my
and
children's children should play.
yeah, KOTOR is a classic.
Yeah.
Let's just be blunt about that, and I think it deserves another spotlight.
There was one Star Wars game that I really liked, and now that I think about it, I hope they make another one. Uh, it is in the PS1, PS2, PS1. It was a action adventure game, and it was multiplayer. It was two players. One plays Qui Gon, then the other plays.
Oh, Jedi Power Battle.
Uh,
I think that's the name.
there you go.
It
There
it
you
was
go.
a
And
beat
then
up.
you battle like
It was a
it's a
beat
beat 'em
'em up.
up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was based on
Yeah.
on Phantom Menace, which actually
Mm.
was okay, but yeah,
Yeah, it was okay. I
those were
mean,
like a
I
little fun
enjoyed
like beat 'em up. Yeah, you
yeah,
also
I
get to
enjoyed the
play.
shit out of that.
I think Kit Fisto was the third character, and then there was a fourth character
Mm.
as well. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
which one.
Ki
What Mace
Adimundi.
Windu?
No, Plo Koon. No, Plo Koon.
Oh, there's Plo
Oh yeah,
Koon.
there we
It
go.
was
Yeah.
Mace.
Oh
Adequately,
man.
yes,
It
right,
was Mace, Plo Koon,
right,
Qui-Gon, and
right, right,
Obi-Wan.
right. Yeah,
Damn.
They had to have different colored
Yeah, yeah.
lightsabers because when
Green
everyone's on screen, you need to
yeah.
differentiate themselves.
power battles, man. So really cool stuff. A lot of stuff to look forward to. The future of Star Wars, both on TV and games, is looking pretty good. So
Oh yeah.
really excited about everything. So do you guys have any last thoughts or anything before I don't know? You want to shout out to your mom?
Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget Giuseppe has a stream.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes,
Giuseppe has a stream.
On Facebook.
yes, yes, I
Yeah.
do. Facebook.com/GZEPI. That's GZEPII. It's not yet super like fully function whatnot. I'm still working on it, but yes, thanks for the plug. Sorry, that was random.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
know
Don't worry.
Mayor is also cooking up something too in the near future. So let's look out for that.
Right, but
Yes.
last thoughts about the whole
Final.
Lucasfilm
Oh,
games.
go ahead, G.
I think it's a good thing that we're gonna get like more stuff, but I guess more is more can be not so good later on. I don't know. We'll see. So far, it looks promising.
Yeah.
That the fact that we're gonna get other stuff, not just from EA
Yep.
this time, and then like what we said, it's not just Star Wars, right? We got an Indiana Jones game coming out, so it's exciting stuff for Lucasfilm. So
Good
I'm
times.
happy. Yeah,
Exciting times.
we'll see.
I'm happy because like Lucasfilm Games is a pretty big umbrella
Mhm.
of franchises that haven't been touched for years.
Mhm.
Yeah,
For years. Day of the Tentacle.
right,
Candy
right.
would love that. Candy would love a
I
3D
want a
remastered.
sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Day
want
of the
a sequel.
Tentacle.
Okay, but overall, having more choices is always good. Yeah, I mean, having a developer having monopoly over one big franchise like that, it's giving them a disservice.
Yeah,
like across the
to
board.
such a well-loved franchise. I think having more
Yeah.
options, having more people, try out what they're imagining.
More people look into the world, more
Yeah,
people seeing where can I make a game, what story can I tell within that world.
the
I
obscure
mean,
characters.
yes, yeah, we're gonna have hit and misses for sure, you know, like a dating sim or something.
Gusto mo to
But
maging
at the
dating
end of the
sim.
day, but at the end of the day, those kinds of games will also make other gamers satisfied. So at least more options, more fun for me. So
Thank you guys. This has been amazing, and I'm super excited about the Star Wars games. You know me. I'm gonna gobble up anything Star Wars, even if it's a bad game, and it kind of has been bad for a few years. But now there's something to look forward to, and then the Rainbow, and with Mandalorian, with all of the and this is also something I'd like to talk about in another episode. The TV shows and the movies that they're coming out with Star Wars and Marvel. Basically, they have all the cards at the table. They're going full force. I'm
yeah,
super excited. So, but yeah, thank you guys. One more time, this is Fiverr Watch. This is Altair, Mayor over here, and then G down there. And
Hello.
thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until the next time, peace.